know me affectionately as Kitty. I'm projecting. I am a 57-year-old orphan. Are there any other orphans here? Motherless children? Everybody still has mom? God bless you. God bless you. I mean, I'm not with, I am an orphan. And every time I say that in front of my father's side of the family, they get angry. They go, your father's still alive. How could you be an orphan? I said, well, I'll give you an example. When I called to tell my dad that my mother died last year, he said, oh, man. I said, are you okay, Dad? He said, oh, man. Oh, wow. He said, who is this again? I said, yep, I'm an orphan. So, before my mother died, she used to say to me, because we had a very volatile relationship, we became friends in the last 6 years that she was alive, due to a friend of ours in Nashville who got me buddy passes to go back and forth so I could repair my relationship with my mother. And she used to say, Janelle, no matter what's happened between us, the world is a very different place without your mother in it. And I used to think, okay, yeah, I'll be okay if you decide to, but I was not okay. So a week before I was about to get married, my mother died from RSV, something I had never even heard of. I had talked to her the week before, and then days later she was gone. It's like some COVID-like disease, a silent killer. And I wasn't ready. And just like she said, the world is a very different place without your mother in it. I'm retired Air Force. I was a retired military cop. I've been all over the world and back again, 64 places, domestic and abroad. I ain't never scared. I'm from Chi-Town.
All right.
But going overseas 1 week after my mother died, the world was way different. You know why? Because my mother used to tell me, there's nobody in this world will ever love you as much as your mother. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm all the way across the world. And if I get kidnapped, if I'm in trouble, if I have an accident, who loves me enough to do everything they can to make sure I get home safe or that I'm okay? Yeah, friends say they love you all the time. No, I got your back. I got your back. You love me a couple of $1,000 ransom money enough? Do you love me enough to tirelessly call the embassy to make sure I'm okay and I get back on American soil? To really go, think about it. So the irony is, as a 57-year-old who's never had children, who's not able to have children, I was going to marry a friend of mine that I'd had for 7 years, and suddenly we became in love over COVID, after 7 years of friendship. And he had a 3-year-old. So I lost my mom and went all the way to Africa to become a mom. Sometimes God knows what you need when you need it, right? The minute I got out of the car, she reached her little arms up to me and she said, Mommy, I can't even tell you what that felt like. It was an incredible feeling, and she's an incredible, precocious little 5-year-old now. And I really believe that my mother was with me. Unfortunately, I wanted it to be a surprise. I didn't tell my mother I was getting married because this is husband number 6. I'm a Gemini. There should be no further explanation than that. This is husband number 6. So usually when I'm getting married again, I never tell her. But this is the first time she was supposed to have she died without grandchildren. Had I known, I would have at least let her FaceTime so she could. So the lesson is that to never wait. Never wait. Do it today. I have very young parents. Two 16-year-old high school sweethearts got together, smoked some weed, and here I am 57 years later. Both parents, hilarious. I had no choice but to become a stand-up comedian. Both of my parents are hysterical. I'll give you an example of how hilariously goofy my dad is. Just to go off subject for my mom for a minute. My dad smokes weed. That's his thing. I don't. Both parents used to love weed. It happens. They kind of canceled me out. So his thing when I would go and visit him in Arizona is he would be a social drinker and smoker. And 11 o'clock in the morning, he's like, yeah, here, come hit this with me. And I'm like, oh, Dad, I don't smoke weed. I told you 1,000 times I don't smoke weed. So I would sit there and he'd hit the blunt and whatever, and I'd hit it or whatever, and I'd cough my left lung up, and he would go, you ever heard of a Cabot? And I go, no, Dad, I've never heard of a Cabot. What is a Cabot? He's like, they got these farms, right, where they mate cats and rabbits. And I'm like, this is what I got for DNA. I had no chance in life. No chance. And he's like, you don't believe me? You don't believe me? Look it up on YouTube. And sure enough, there would be this janky pre-AI videos of some creature that looked like a cabot, a rabbit mixed with a cabot, yeah. So, ironically, his last wife, he had also been married several times, it runs in the family. His first wife, my mother's name was Sheila, and his last wife's name was Sheila. Sheila died before my Sheila died. And he had her up on the mantelpiece, so I would go down there to see him and make sure he's okay. And she'd be up there on the mantelpiece on the urn, and he said, I want you to go with me and spread her ashes out in Arizona. There's a bunch of wild Mustangs that were, really, I didn't really care about her that much or whatever too. So I just agreed. I was like, yeah, so I'm sitting there 11 o'clock in the morning smoking, weed with him, even though I don't smoke weed. And I really, really start coughing. I go, God, what is this? This is awful. I don't want to do this, Dad. I don't want to do peer pressure from my dad to smoke weed. Really? And he goes, this is Sheila. And I go,
oh. Yo.
I'm
Yo.
like, wait a minute, motherfucker. I didn't even like that bitch. He's like, no, the strain of the weed is called Sheila.
Oh, Lord.
This is what I got for DNA. Back to my mother, who was also hilarious. My mother was not only hilarious, she was psycho. Both of them are psycho. Very violent people, volatile people, grew up in different times, hard times, but hilarious. Both of them were hilarious. But my mother was also psychic. So imagine growing up, yeah, this is my life, you give me the sad face. Psychic. Imagine growing up with a psycho that was also psychic. I couldn't get away with shit. When my mother was born, she was born with a caul over her eyes. Do you know what a caul is? It's like a skin. It's like an eye hymen. Yeah. And the old folks used to say, people born with that skin over their eyes means that they're blessed with psychic abilities. In my mother's case, it was actually true. From the time my mother was a little girl, she could tell people right before they died, or if you would never see them again. Every Friday, my mother used to go and see her grandfather over at the big house. And one day, she told the family, Granddaddy is not coming today. And they go, What do you mean? He comes every Friday. He didn't come that day because he died. And they said, how did you know that your grandfather wasn't going to show up? She said, because he told me in my dream. And since then, my mother would have dreams and call people before they died. It got to the point where everybody at the big family house would go, bitch, don't call this house. Don't call, I don't want to fucking know. Don't call this house if I'm about to die. My aunt said when my mother was born that there was a white lady at the window in robes doing like this. I guess I should mention it was the projects on the 17th floor. So the probability of that actually, but hey, you know, call the old wives' tale or whatever. Not only was she psychic, she was brutal. Oh my God. I couldn't get away with anything. Like every 16-year-old, I always wanted to wear makeup at school. My mother was very strict. No makeup, no makeup. You can't wear makeup until you grow. So one day, I noticed something metal hitting me in my shin while I had my coat on. And I discovered I had a hole in my pocket. All the change that I would put in my pocket would fall through that hole and it would fall down to the bottom of that seam. So when I would walk, the change would hit me in the shin. So, being a teenager, thinking I'm smarter than everybody else, smarter than my psycho mother, I said this would be a great place to hide lipstick. So, he's already left. He already knows what's happening. So I went to Goldblatt's, which was our version of Walgreens, and I stole the prettiest lipstick I could find. Because, you know, I wasn't allowed to have it, so I had to steal it, right? And I worked that lipstick down through that hole until it got down to the bottom. And then when I'd get to school, I'd work that lipstick all the way back up to that seam through that hole. And I'd put on lipstick. Oh, I'm so smart. I'd be the prettiest girl at school with my lipstick on. And I'd make sure at least an hour before I got home, how do you get off lipstick? Makeup remover. Can't just wash it off, right? Because you still got that stain. Baby oil. So I get the baby oil. And I'm like, I'm good. And I put that lipstick back through that hole and worked it all the way down. And I got away with it for about a week. And my mother used to sit in the dark, burn candles, and sit and meditate and smoke weed. I was like, okay. One day I got to school, and I bent down and I worked that lipstick all the way up through that hole. And I went to go put my lipstick on, and there was a note inside the case. And the note said, bitch, I said, no makeup. Yeah. Moral of the story is, the world is a different place without your mother in it. It's scary. I'd give anything to just have a couple more years. My name is Janelle Jackson. Thank you for listening.